Yeah. Welcome back to Peak Speed Lab 164, my fellow diecaster blasters. All right, that's the second time I've used that. Not sure if I'm going to keep going with the nickname. I kind of like it because it's anybody who's watching this is definitely going to be a hardcore diecaster fan, I think, diecast fan. Anyway, this is the place where gravity and mass meet friction. The ramp decides the results. We are in this lab today trying to figure out what to do next. This is car 24. Um, you know what? Why don't we just I'm gonna do a little bit of a throwback. This was kind of the next one in line, based on this queue I've been working through of the non-specials. This is car number 3 of 5 from the Layin Low line. And don't worry, we'll be showing this forward as well. It's the 47 Chevy Fleetline. So we got like a semi-closed wheel situation going on in the back. White wall tires, for those of you who know what those bad boys are. And it says, whoa, low to the ground yet high in style. These tricked out cruisers pack a powerful punch. So in here, 3 of 5, but as with the previous 5 videos where they showed all the vehicles on the back of the box, this one does not. This is just 3 of 5. Again, from the Layin Low line. So this is like your standard $150, whatever car that you can get at, CVS or grocery store, hobby store, that kind of thing. Maybe $2, depending on where you're buying it. So looks pretty nice. What do you say we do the unboxing for 24? 24? Is it 24? 24. We'll figure out which way is the right way as it looks, because I know it's all backwards. All right, to the unboxing. Here we go. There we go. It's part 2. So we've got, again, so you can see it forward here, we got the 47 Chevy Fleetline. We'll take it out and do its usual things. Hope you'll stay tuned. And think about hitting that subscribe button for me and even the like button so we can get this algorithm out there, and that you'll stay through the end of the video. At the end of each of these videos, I do I give it the cars their moment of glory out of respect to the craftsmen and designers who actually designed the cars, including the folks who were originally the inspirations for the cars, all of that stuff. So it gets its moment on a lighted spinning pedestal, which is like right there, so that we can enjoy it close up, see it almost like a showroom kind of situation. So now, again, with the premium cars, right? Remember when I was doing, if you saw the previous videos, I was doing this. This is much a little more flimsy, and this comes apart super easy, unlike the other ones where I needed a box cutter to get out open. Wow. Okay, this feels really light. This feels really light. I thought, as always, these packages sometimes make them feel differently. Perhaps it's the balance that they are in the package. I don't know. But this car feels super light. I'm looking forward to getting it on the scale. But in the meantime, let's do the close-ups as usual. You see the little Hot Wheel emblem on the back there in that back fender area. Or wheel cover. Old school throwback Chevy. Now, I wasn't around in 47, but I appreciate the cars, especially the cars that were in the sci-fi shows, and look into the future. Yeah, this is kind of the balance on this is pretty interesting. So we're going to do a little, it almost looks like a bit of a lift back, you know what I mean? Like maybe one of the originals. Oh, there we go. We're going to see where it's made. Malaysia. We are back to Malaysia. That's definitely plastic. That's definitely plastic. So we're back to the plastic base, plastic tires. This thing feels, right now it feels like it could be kind of fast, but we never know until we wrap up the measurements and get her on the, right now we're still using the short form drag strip. We'll do the measurements. We'll do the usual 20 warm-up laps, followed by the 10 official laps. Again, we'll get all the measurements in the database, along with the track geometry, temperature, humidity, etc. Anybody is interested in knowing all that, what some of these are, please let me know. I'll be happy to provide that information. And also, if you, I mean, I've shot a few videos where we've done the where I've walked through and actually done, performed each step, each measurement in real time. So I could do more of those if folks want. Anyway, all right, let's see how she measures up. Welcome back. Just finished up the measurements. A couple of observations. The car felt far lighter when I pulled it out of the case, out of the blister pack. And when I weighed it, I thought it was going to be in the B weight class, but it was at the top end of the C weight class. So as with previous models, you think that the weight's going to be a certain way or other measurements are going to be a certain way. That's why we measure, because, we can't assume. Also, we had, when I was doing the close-ups, I noticed that that it felt pretty unwieldy. You probably noticed that when I was showing it and the reason I'm going to say is when we did the tipping angle or the center of gravity measurement, it was at it had a very high center of mass. So, which isn't typical so far of any of the cars I've really held before. So this is the highest center of mass so far, and that's probably why it felt so unwieldy to me when I was kind of trying to move it around and show it. Anyway, a couple of observations right off the bat. We're about to do the 20 warm-up laps, tested the track, or the gate, I should say. The starting gate was working fine. So we're going to see how she rolls. And why don't we turn the camera around so you can see what's happening on the track for the first round, or for the first lap. Okay. First lap of 20, as usual. We do not count these, but we still track just to see the fastest and slowest times and kind of see how they progress throughout the 20. Wow, that thing shot back quick. 1.834. Might give the high voltages a run for their money, but we are in the C class, which is what those are in. So I don't know. Let's see how she does the rest of the way. We'll be back after the 20 warm-up laps for the 10 officials. Just finished up the 20 warm-up laps. Wow, this car ran really, really tight. First lap was the fastest. We only had 3 laps. There's a progression of a total of 3 laps where the car was a little bit slower, but it ran between like 1.834 seconds and 1.899 seconds. So really consistent for the warm-up laps. We're going to see how these official 10 laps go. Now that we got the track warmed up, we got the humidity, the room temp measured up, and the track's working great right now, so I'm glad about that. So let's turn the camera around. We'll take a look at lap 1 in regular mo. Then we'll do 2 through 9 like usual in fast mo, unless something crazy happens, and then we'll be back at 10 with regular mo. And by mo, I mean motion, okay? Because I'm trying to be cool and hip, and I'm not. I get it. Okay, let's on to the 10 official laps. All right, here we go. Getting ready for lap 1 of 10, situated nicely. There's the short form drag strip, and we are about to get started. Boom. .886. I mean, look how far she bounced back. Yeah, that's some movement right there. Okay, let's see how the rest go. we're on lap 10. She's running a pretty clean stretch of time, actually, for these 10 official laps. So here we go, lap 10. 1.867. So here, as we'll do the usual, there's the laps. You can see my notes on the left in the column there. And then lap 10 was 1.867, which I'll write down here in a minute. You see the track temp, room temp. Usually there's a little bit more of a difference, but not today. And I always do the track temp after the 20 warm-up laps, so it's done the same way at the same time. And I do it right about here on the same spot because we want to be consistent. All right, we're going to enter this information in the database, but I think it was a pretty consistent run. And for this vehicle, which I don't know, I was surprised by a lot about it. The weight, the center of gravity situation, the balance of the car, even the speed. So that's pretty good. That's what makes this an interesting process. So we'll be back in a bit. Okay, welcome back to Peak Speed Lab 164. Again, I'm Strick, and this is the place where the where gravity and mass meet friction. The ramp decides the results. These results are pretty interesting, pretty tight run. We're going to plug them into the algorithm. We're going to plug them in. Well, we plugged them into the database. Then we're going to do like an assessment, compare against all the cars that we've run. This is car again. We're going to do 24. 24? No, 24. 24 or 24. There you go. I'm just taking a look at the notes here. Again, I kind of mentioned some of the observations already. But what we'll do is see how it compared to, the rest of the cars in the field, and then also the cars within its class. We've got a lot of cars in its class. This might be car number 10 in the C weight class, I believe. But we'll find out. Information will be in the description as always. But of course, feel free to, shoot me a message. Let me know if you got any questions, if you want to know any bits about the data, if you want to know about any of the cars we have in the lab that we've got in the queue, because there's quite a few. If there's anything else that you want to see, I'd appreciate it. And as always, think about hitting that subscribe button and like button. I know everybody says, smash those buttons. I'd appreciate it if you hit it, you give us a follow, and then you kind of like interact and have a good time, because this is really meant to be a fun place, even though we're doing, some things with, physics, math, but most importantly, the 164 scale die-cast car community, which is awesome. So I don't know. I'm going to see if the die-caster blaster will stick. See if I remember to say it. See if anybody has a problem with it. We'll see if I remember tomorrow. But in the meantime, I hope that you will enjoy, as we always respect the craftspeople who designed, who built the equipment to be able to manufacture these vehicles, and including the inspiration for the vehicles themselves. Okay, so it's time for this Chevy to have its moment of glory now.